Hello, everybody. As Erika mentioned, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. Thank you so much for having me a part of this. I'm just part of your journey. I was there. I helped throw that gender reveal for Celine, and to see and to witness where you are now. It's been a blessing. I wanted to talk about a few different things, although I have not experienced this type of loss. I have had my mom back there. She has had 7 miscarriages, and I'm the oldest, and I was their first blessing. When the doctors also said that she wouldn't be able to have any babies, now my mom and dad have 3. I've also experienced just from cousins and best friends who have experienced miscarriages as well. So I've been more on the supportive loved one side of things. And of course, also in my experience with working with clients who have experienced loss. The grief process. I wanted to talk about, you Google it and there's a lot of different, there's the denial and the anger and all this, but I wanted to talk about different aspects of that grief process. The grief process, the loss of a child, is very complex and a deeply personal kind of grief. There are many layers to it. This loss is not just about your current loss, it is also a deep grief over the loss of your future with your child. You may be grieving your vision of what you thought it'd be. You may be grieving lost time, and you may be grieving your hope. There's no real manual on how you're supposed to do it. And it looks differently for everybody. Everyone's story is their story. I wanted to talk about loneliness. The loneliness that you may experience when grieving. You may have or may have not told others about your pregnancy and or don't share about your loss, which can feel lonely and isolating. Distance can become very easy, and even if you have all the physical support around you, emotionally you may not feel present. Emotionally you might be disassociated. You might be in a room full of loved ones just like this, but feel very still alone. The other aspect is shame and blame. All the shoulds and all the what ifs. I should have been over this by now. I should be talking about this. What if I did this instead? Shame for having a smile. Shame for laughing when you're grieving. Then there's the relationship issues. And oftentimes, a lot of people talk about the relationship issues between you and your partner, you and, your spouse or your partner that you lost with. Of course, there's that relationship, and of course, the lack of intimacy that may come, the lack of communication, the lack of closeness. There's also shifts in friendships. Not just the relationship of your significant other. There's shifts in friendships. Not because I don't want to talk to you, not because I don't love you, not because I don't want to allow you to be there for me, but just because I don't know how, or just because I'm in my own process right now. I don't know what I can give you. I don't even want to talk about it. The shifts in friendships. And then the shame and the blame that comes with that as well. The shame that you give yourself because you don't have the capacity to maintain those friendships, the capacity to be there for your spouse or your significant other in ways that you were used to. And the relationship with your own body. The disassociation with your own body. Not feeling like yourself within your own body. The grief of your body, the changes, the anger, the disappointment. Then there's the depression. There are often physical aspects There may be often physical aspects of your loss which might require you to prioritize more medical intervention or and the physical aspect rather than your emotional recovery. Oftentimes we take care of our physical bodies way more than our mental or emotional health. Depending on what your story looks like, if there was more of an urgency for your physical body, you might have neglected the emotional part of yourself, the mental part of yourself. The physical process itself can be very traumatic. It's like I'm still trying to figure out my physical part, what I can touch, my body. And that's why I said in the beginning, there are many layers. Symptoms of depression, persistent feelings of sadness, lack of motivation, the change in sleep or appetite, the loss of interest in things that you used to do, and even if you have children already, the shame, the blame, the depression that you feel when you're not able to be there for your children, the children that are present. You may have thoughts as time is passing by me and everyone around me is moving forward with their lives. I'm trying to be happy for others, but it's really hard sometimes. I don't know if I can take one more disappointment. All these thoughts contribute to the mindset and to the emotions and that you're dealing with. Another aspect is the acceptance. As Erika mentioned, in acceptance, there's freedom. And in acceptance, there's breakthrough. There's release. Release emotionally, release mentally, release physically, release spiritually. It's important to acknowledge your feelings. The pretending, the hiding, struggling in silence, hoping it just goes away won't help you move through this. It may actually get worse. And oftentimes when we keep things in, we bottle things in, all that is congested within our bodies. We're feeling it somatically. We're feeling it within, headaches, stomach aches, and we're thinking it's a headache or it's a stomach ache. No, there's a lot of unprocessed feelings, and acceptance can help you work through those unprocessed feelings. I want to talk about coping. There is no wrong way to cope. Meaning that what may have worked for Erika may not work for somebody else. And that's goes into it being your own story. Normalizing your experience. Everyone's experience is unique. You don't know how to deal with it until you are there. There's no manual. So a lot of comments, a lot of things coming your way, a lot of people trying to say, oh, I went through this and this, projecting the projection of it. Have compassion for yourself. Replace more of the critical vocabulary with more compassionate vocabulary. The same way as you would for a sister or a cousin or a friend. When you catch your inner voice being harsh towards yourself, try to remember you're human. And it's normal to have these different emotions. It's important not to stay there, though. It's important to not stay stuck. Distractions, but not avoidance. We get in this busyness. I want to try and not think about this. I don't want to think about it. I'm going to stay busy all the time. I'm going to splurge myself in work. I'm going to never be home. I don't want to deal with this. Being mindful if if you're utilizing distractions or if you're in the avoidance. The avoidance is what allows you to be stuck. The avoidance will push back your healing. The avoidance will prevent the healing. And protecting your peace, setting boundaries. I don't know about you guys, but boundaries is not really existing in Hispanic cultures. And, we think a lot of times our tias and our nanas and our cousins are just so quick to comment, right? Oh, but because it's my tia, because it's my nana, because it's my cousin, I'll let it be. Protecting your peace. Your body is a shield. You're trying to shield yourself. You want to shield yourself from everything that internally is happening, from everything that you're processing, things that you know, things that you don't know yet. Protecting your peace. Oftentimes, the phone has some way of knowing what the heck we're talking about. And all of a sudden, there's all these ads coming up, right, on social media, and babies, and loss, and whatever that looks like for you. You have the power to turn it off. You have the power to say no. You can say no, and you have permission to say no. Because it's your process, and no one can tell you how to do your own process. No matter if they're family, no matter if they've had a loss, no matter if they've experienced something similar, protecting your peace no matter who it is. Setting boundaries. It might even be with your spouse. It might even be with your significant other. Maintaining that unity can feel very difficult. Maintaining the unity within your relationship, the unity within your family if you have other children. But it's important to have effective communication. You may or may not always be willing to share, but as I tell my clients, communicate through it all. And what I mean by that is even if you don't want to share, saying that, I'm not ready to share right now. Right now is not a good time. Asking your significant other, do you have space for me right now? And if they say no, don't get mad. It's just where they're at. It's communicating with where they're at. Communicating through it all, even if it means that you're not ready to. Allowing yourself and being patient with the process and being patient with your significant other. Being patient with your kids because your process is going to be look very different than your kids' process and your husband's process, your wife's process. Check-ins and providing space for the whole family. The whole family, meaning that it's not just about mom, it's not just about dad, it's not just about the kids. It's about everyone in the whole unit. Check-ins may look like a daily check-in. Some may not want to ask, hey, how are you doing with this specifically? That might be my boundary. How about, Erika, instead of asking me, how are you doing with your loss, asking me, is there anything I can do for you today? Check-ins. Providing space and providing undivided attention towards that space. Some unhelpful things to say. It wasn't meant to be. It'll happen when it's going to happen. At least you could get pregnant. At least are very dismissive. At least you weren't further along. It's probably the hormones. You will feel better soon. You're young. You can always try again. Understanding the intention is to make them feel better, but oftentimes you miss the opportunity for connection because of the statements that invalidate or dismiss their experience. If you don't know what to say, I always say, even within relationships, just ask them, instead of this, what could I say? They'll give you the answer. Some helpful things to say is, would you like to talk or do you want to be distracted? I'm here for both. You can tell me whatever you are comfortable with. I know I don't understand what it is like, but I'm here to listen. I'm thinking about you. I have something for you. It doesn't have to be all about, I think oftentimes we experience loss and then that's our identity. And that's all everybody wants to talk about. There's still so much more to who you are as a person. There's still so much more that you have to do and that God's placed in you to do as a person. So not limiting yourself and not limiting your loved ones just to their experience. As mentioned, I am a licensed marriage and family therapist here locally. I am located in Indio, California. I offer services both virtually and in person. I think it's just really important also just for community and the community of this. And this is why this is so awesome, because oftentimes you don't understand or recognize how many people have also experienced something similar until you begin to speak. And if we can speak towards the situation in more of a light, in more of a positive, in an encouraging way, then there will be more breakthrough and there will be more testimonies. And so recognizing that one loss isn't worse than another, recognizing that the comparisons, let's not do that, and just offering support of one another as a community of sisters. And that's why this is so powerful and this is so awesome, and I know that it's going to continue to grow, and the vision that God has placed in you. Just very grateful and excited to be a part of this, and excited to hear more testimonies, more life that will come from this. More life and more joy. And joy is no matter what. And when you can experience that joy, then there's nothing else that can take it. And the only person who can give that to you is Jesus. And so recognizing that there's a happy meter, and our happiness will go up and down all the time. Erika complimented me today, so I'm feeling good. But joy is no matter what, no matter whether Erika compliments me or not. And that joy is something that I pray for all of you to experience, for you and for your families. Thank you.